Good afternoon, folks. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered with a quick afternoon podcast.
Freddy wins.
Folks, good afternoon. Today is Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you're starting your week off on a good foot. Today I want to go over a few social media posts that I saw online today. And it involves Wilson Kimbo from the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. Who is Wilson Kimbo? Good afternoon, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez, coming on early today because I want to go out. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to be going out. I wanted to go over some of these posts that I saw. Three posts that I saw. Well, actually, one of them I made online. And this one here I saw. This is from Reddit. You guys use Reddit or go on Reddit. This is in regards to Wilson Kimbo, the CEO of Municipal Housing Authority here in the city of Yonkers. And the caption says, excuse me, this was 8 hours ago. This woman is responsible for ruining Yonkers. And why is that? Why would they say such things, right? I spoke about Wilson Kimbo in previous podcasts. I mentioned where she came from and who her husband is. Her husband also is working here in the city of Yonkers at the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. Wilson Kimbo is the CEO, excuse me, of Municipal Housing Authority here in Yonkers. She is also technically the boss of the city council president. Sources have said that she was responsible for Lakeisha Collins, being chosen as the one that they wanted to run for city council president. She did thank Wilson Kimbo. So she's had a relationship with her. Wilson Kimbo has been very active in what's been happening here in terms of the developments. Although she is CEO of Municipal Housing, she has been involved in the luxury developments as well. She became the chair of the zoning board. The Zoning Board of Appeal, after she was responsible from sources, responsible for the removal of two individuals and even responsible for having the previous chair, sent off with a nice little celebration there at City Hall, retirement celebration. That gentleman, the former chair, was there for about 50 so years, and the other two who were removed as a result of Kimbo were there for at least 30 or so years. And why were they removed? Because they would not approve the zoning changes that were going on, that have now been approved. And Wilson Kimbo has a past of getting people fired. So this is not unlike her, right? It's in her history of getting people removed. And how do I know that? Because I read the report. What report? The New York State Inspector General's report. That's right. The IG of New York investigated Wilson Kimbo in 2010, along with her husband. Well, he wasn't her husband at the time, but he's her husband now. James Kavanaugh, who is the president of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. And I'll get into that in a minute. How you doing, Romario? What's going on, brother? Wilson Kimbo was investigated by the NYIG in 2010. Let me bring up the report real quick. I won't go over all of it, but I do want to show. And look, it even made the New York Post. Battery exec at pigs at public trough, right? So they were misappropriating funds. They were, they even had an apartment, right? So they went and got an apartment using taxpayer money. James Kavanaugh and Wilson Kimbo. James Kavanaugh at the time was the head of the Battery Park City Authority, an agency, a semi-quasi-governmental agency similar to the Yonkers IDA, where he works at now, but it was located in Manhattan. And so they were using a lot of the money that organization was getting in or generating for their own personal benefits. They went and got an apartment in Manhattan, which they were paying for, and they were having their affair there. They were having these rendezvous, James Kavanaugh and Wilson Kimbo, because at the time they weren't married, but they're now married now. So at least, they made it last. They made it work. But before that, they were having an affair in an apartment downtown that they were paying with taxpayer money. They were also going, having these, elaborate outings, elaborate picnics, and dining out all the time, spending all this money. And so the New York State IG investigated both Wilson Kimball and James Kavanaugh. And in the report, they state all of this, right? Just before the report, was released, or they could do anything about it, they ended up leaving. They resigned from the Battery Park City Authority and ended up here in Yonkers. So these individuals were investigated by the New York State Inspector General, yet Yonkers welcomed them with open arms. And why is that? Well, that's because James Kavanaugh has a history with Nick Spano. He worked for Nick Spano as his communications director back when Nick was senator up in Albany. And he's been with Nick ever since. And so Nick brought him up here to head the YIDA, the agency that's tasked with giving all these developers tax breaks. So these people have a corrupt history, and they end up here. Why is that? Why is it that everyone that the mayor seems to appoint to these positions have a shady past? Does not make the best decisions when hiring and appointing people to various positions here within the city. I want to read a little bit really quick of what it said. I won't go into it too much. I have posted it up on my page, so if you want to read it. So it says here, after receiving initial complaint, the Inspector General contacted the authorities, recently terminated Controller Deborah Bogosian. She's the one that filed the complaint with the IG and received similar allegations, including claims that the authority was improperly providing a vehicle and driver for James Gill, concerns about contributions, donations made by the authority, assertions that unqualified individuals were hired for top-level positions. So here, we see that here in the city of Yonkers, right? What they just said there, we see that in the city of Yonkers. So if that's in the New York State Inspector General's report as something that's foul, then why isn't he investigating Yonkers, right? Yonkers has a problem with these vehicles. Everyone gets a vehicle. They get to take it home. They get to take it to the bar. They get to drive it home after leaving the bar, right? And so that's an issue. That costs money. That's a danger to the public. And many vehicles have been in accidents by individuals who still have cars, okay? And then he also talks about hiring unqualified individuals. We see that here in Yonkers. How does that impact us? Well, because people are doing a shitty job for us. So when you wonder why the schools are the way they are, when you wonder why the roads are all jacked up, right? When you wonder why, there's dirt in certain districts all over, garbage and all that, right? We have unqualified managers, unqualified supervisors, right? When you get Seda Jerris, the wife of corrupt Zahi Jerris, two-time felon, a job as a supervisor, but she can't pass the test twice. She failed, yet she's supervisor over at DPW, recycling over there. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen, right? We're not going to get our city services and departments managed properly. They're not going to be efficient. There's going to be a lot of wasteful spending as a result. Just automatically, when you don't run efficiently, you're going to waste money, right? So there's a lot of people that are unqualified here in Yonkers, and they're making so much money. So ridiculous. So much money. Some of them wouldn't even get hired at $15 an hour in the public sector. And I wonder why Seda, I said Sadie, I'm combining her husband's name. Seda Jerris failed the test, and people say it's because of her English. She doesn't speak English well, so she has a problem with the language. So that, I was, wait, how did she fail twice? And I get it. But if she can't speak English well enough to pass the supervisor test, how does she supervise people? That's a problem, right? And so why isn't the New York State Inspector General investigating this? It's a problem here too in Yonkers, right? So these are things that I'm talking about. This is what Wilson Kimball and James Kavanaugh were involved in back in Battery Park City Authority, and they're involved in it now. The authority spent over $184,000, representing more than $45,000 a year for employee parties and gifts. Interesting. This is what James Kavanaugh was doing. Imagine what he's doing over at the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. What is he giving to these developers? Right? I can only imagine. I don't know if we'll ever see it unless you guys vote Freddie in. So yeah, so you can review this. Kavanaugh attempted to justify the authorities' policy of paying for employee lunches by arguing that business was discussed. Oh yeah, right. That's the old trick there. Hey, just say it was a business dinner, right? So it also states that Kimball was responsible for getting people removed or fired from the, because she complained to James, her boo at this place, and he would do whatever she said, right? Whatever she said. From January 2003 to through early 2009, the authority leased an apartment at the Solaire, a residential complex in Battery Park City, at an annual cost of more than $50,000 a year. This amount does not include maintenance and furnishing costs. The Solaire was awarded the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Gold certification by the United States Green Building Council. According to Kavanaugh, since the Solaire was an innovative green building, the authority leased the apartment to provide tours in an attempt to promote and encourage environmentally friendly construction. What BS? This is the apartment that they were using as their love's nest. Environmentally friendly. Go green. You know what I mean? I bet they were going green in there, going red. And that's what she does now. They do that now. They get all this grant money, right? For environmentally, friendly, this, that, and the third, climate change, that. Remember, she was talking about heat islands. And we're building the low-income housing so they will be, energy efficient. Well, that's good, actually. But climate change, she was talking about climate change and, heat islands. And I don't know, what does that mean, heat islands? But I do know that they had the same article in New York talking about heat islands in public housing as they did it in a city in Virginia. So this is like propaganda. There's heat islands everywhere, I guess. The articles were identical. The only difference was the women. There were two different women, both black, both sitting in front of the projects talking about heat islands. They're stealing our money, folks. They're stealing our federal our taxpayer money. It's unbelievable. The Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, what is that? That is the agency that's tasked with giving developers, these pilots, payment in lieu of taxes, right? So they get tax breaks on property taxes. They get tax breaks on mortgage recording tax and sales and use tax. But the big tax break comes from property tax, of course. Of course, that's the money we really need. And so Mike Spano is the chair. Wait a minute. Did they remove? No, they didn't. Oh, no, this is the board. Mike Spano is the chair of the YIDA, right? Mike Spano, the chairman. Marilyn Anderson, the secretary. Melissa Nassarino, treasurer. I can't believe this. Folks, I just found something out. If you're watching with me, you just discovered something live with me. Melissa Nassarino is the contact person for Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Lobbying Firm. She is listed as the contact person if you want to reach that company, Nick Spano's lobbying firm, the one that represents all the developers. She's also an employee of Harris Beach, the law firm that's all in the mix. The law firm that was hired by the masseuse to challenge Carlos Burgo's signatures. The law firm that was hired by John Rubo when he was sued by his employees for not paying wages. The law firm that's representing Mike Spano, I believe, in the Mike Cater lawsuit. The law firm that has contracts with the city of Yonkers. The law firm that's involved in quid pro quo all over the place. Yeah, Melissa Nassarino. Interesting. Harris Beach, connected to the YIDA and Empire Strategic Planning. Hello, New York State Inspector General, Attorney General, DOJ. Anybody listening? FBI, you guys up there in Rye. What's up? What's going on? CC appointment. City Council appointed Henry D. John Balaj. I don't know how to say your last name. Henry D. John Balaj. John Balaj. What is Henry doing in the YIDA? He's a realtor. He owns a real estate and brokerage company. Come on. He's good friends with John Rubo, who sits on the chair of the real estate committee. Do you not see how they have wrapped this city up, folks? And it's all theirs. They put everyone in positions. Remember, John Rubo at the meeting last week, speaking about how he was, given the green light to sit on the chair of the real estate committee, even though AMS were his landlord. He was a tenant of AMS, and he was voting on things that had to do with AMS, the master plan for Yonkers, or as I like to call it, the master's plan. That's right. It's the master's plan. That's what they're doing. Henry D. John Balaj. I mean, come on, folks. It can't get more corrupt, right? These are a lot of the projects that they've approved. City agency approves 5 mixed-use residential developments in Yonkers, 300 apartments, including some housing for low-income seniors. The Xtel that's going up over there by the old MTA bus depot, $500 million project, 7 buildings there. Unbelievable. Then we have 57 Alexander Street. That's going up as we speak, right? Then we have this bad boy here at Ridge Hill, the Horizon there. That's already gone up. They're building another building there. Then you have the 56 Prospect over there on the corner of Prospect and Buena Vista. I mean, literally a stone throws away from the Teutonia that's going up there. So you're going to have here about 230-something apartments with the 900 apartments built and going to be built with the Teutonia. Not to mention 44 Hudson Terrace, another 230-something. I mean, not even a square mile radius. I mean, all these people just mashed together in one spot. Poor folks who live down there. You over there at the Water Grant Street. You should be, making sure Freddy Vazquez wins this election this year. That's your only hope. Yonkers IDA votes for $72 million project in Ravine neighborhood. Yeah, and guess who's going to be walking down Ravine with their little poodles and puppies? Won't be the people that's there now, that's for sure. Brace yourselves. Laura Wilson Kimball, the chief of staff for Libby Pataki. So she goes back. She's been involved in politics. The chief of staff for Libby Pataki, the first lady of New York. Wilson Kimball, 34, is known as Wilson and is keeping her surname. She also works in Manhattan as the counsel to Mrs. Pataki, with whom she wrote Artfully Taught and NYC ABC and edited letters to New York children speak out. Oh, she's writing children's book with Libby Pataki. Isn't that something? Does she have any kids? The bride graduated from Skidmore College and Fordham Row Law School. She is the daughter of Nan Weiner of Louderville. I don't know. Is this? Oh, yeah. And Hardy LaBelle of Westerly, Rhode Island. And that's where they have a home at, Wilson Kimball and James Kavanaugh. She changed her name. The bride's father, who retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. Oh, man, one of my friends is a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. Is the chief pilot of New England Airlines, which is in Westerly and Block Island, Rhode Island. Her mother is the executive director of New York State Judicial Screening Committee in Albany. Oh, isn't that something? Oh, these people, her mom is the executive director of New York State Judicial Screening Committee in Albany. Mr. Raheem, 32, is the director of technology at the Ethical Culture Fledstone School in Riverdale, the Bronx, and in Manhattan. He graduated from New York University. Well, this is the guy she married before she cheated on him with James. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, Raheem. Messed up, man. Anything I can do for you, Raheem? Got any information? politicwithfred@gmail.com. Wilson celebration. Wilson Kimball married to Murad Rahim. But that didn't last long. That was in 2002. 8 years, and then she started having a fling with this guy right here. James Kavanaugh, dude with the glasses here, president of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, giving away all our property. Right, James? All the tax breaks, right, James? There's no such thing as a free lunch unless you're an executive at the Battery Park City Authority, the top state watchdog said. Inspector General Joseph Fish blasted the Lower Manhattan Housing Agency. Look, the Lower Manhattan Housing Agency, now his wife is working for the Yonkers Housing Agency, for squandering nearly $350,000 on parties, gifts, and lunches amid complaints of flings. There you go. Flings and favoritism among top executives. Allegations first reported last year by the Post. The watchdog's 34-page report found that officials squandered some $100,000 in public money on catered lunches between 2005 and 2008, and some $45,000 annually on picnics, going away bashes, and open bar holiday parties. The parties were described as lavish affairs with giveaways, DJs, and professional photographers. Sounds like something at the Castle Royale. The themed picnics were organized by outside event planners and featured pony rides. Wow. I did that one time for my daughter. I had pony rides. I brought ponies to my property. That was dope. One year, the agency, I didn't know you could rent ponies until that time. One year, the agency purchased special misting fans to cool attendees. Oh, you got to cool all the, political elites. The authority, which is set up in 1968 to develop and manage 92 acres on Manhattan's southern tip, is required by law to turn over any surplus cash to the state and the city. So do you think that the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency is turning over any surplus cash? They're selling off city property. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Such excess spending by a state authority was outrageous, Fish said. Well, he should come down to Yonkers. I don't think he's not the, while commending the authority's new chairman, former city comptroller Bill Thompson Jr. for reforming policies and eliminating abuses. The authority's former chairman, James Gill, resigned earlier this year. Its former CEO, James Kavanaugh, retired last month. Of course he did. He was out. The report singles out for special criticism Kavanaugh. Look, he was singled out for special criticism. James Kavanaugh, a former Westchester County Republican Party chairman. You hear that? Former Westchester County Republican Party chairman, Nick Spano, Republican. The Spanos have been Republicans. They still are. They're Spanocrats now, right? And his top aide, Laura Wilson Kimball, a one-time assistant to former state First Lady Libby Pataki. Fitch cited almost daily lunch dates between the pair and said Kimball received more than $28,000 in raises over 3 years. Hey, that happens here, Inspector General. Some people get a $40,000, $50,000 raise in 1 year, right? Amid speculations that they were romantically involved, and they married now. Fish said Kavanaugh and Kimball refused to answer questions about their personal relationship. Kavanaugh called the Inspector General's finding nonsense and said the report comes close to being slanderous. Oh, yeah. It completely misrepresents the record of the Battery Park City Authority, makes unsubstantiated allegations. Aren't they always unsubstantiated? Against certain executives and ignores evidence in their favor, Kavanaugh said. I'm sure. $35,000 on parties, $1,000 on, look, $100,000 in inappropriate donations to unrelated charities. Do you want to know one of the charities that they donated to that was unrelated and they even questioned in the in the report? A donation made by Battery Park City Authority under the authorization of James Kavanaugh to the Yonkers Puerto Rican Day Parade or association or organization, whatever that was. They wondered why they would make a donation to that organization here in Yonkers. That was around the time like Lorraine Lopez and other individuals, some top elite Hispanics who are still around, were involved, and they were messing around with money because some of them got arrested, went to jail for it. It's online. Why don't you Google people's names, and you'll see. I mean, people were stealing money, turkey money, stealing toys for tots. Yeah, but they're still involved in the community doing these charity things. I don't get that. Because you know why? They get people's information. You want some turkeys? Give me your information. You want food? Give me your information. You want a free toy at Christmas? Give me your information. And then when we come around with those papers, just sign them. Okay, no problem. That's what they do. And so they all got their little locations of data collecting, right? Data collection sites. We have the food drives. We have the St. Andrews over there by Elliott Street. Yeah, data collection sites in order to manipulate and influence elections, election fraud, voter fraud. That's what that is, and that's what they're committing here, folks. We have to get these corrupt individuals out, right? We think of the Spanos, but we don't think of individuals like this. We don't think of Wilson Kimball. We don't think of James Kavanaugh. They were already investigated by the New York State Inspector General for corruption, doing things that they're doing here. So it's time we now clean house, right? This is our house. We have to clean it. So I'm going to hand everyone a broom, a vacuum cleaner, some paper towels, and Windex, and we're going to clean this house. Okay? And Mr. Lean, for some of y'all, you know, that like the Mr. Lean. And Pine Soil, we have to clean house. It's up to us, folks. We cannot rely on them those folks to do it for us. Again, this is Yonkers Development Agency. Oh, look, the Yonkers Chamber of Commerce. Wonder what businesses they promote. I'm sure it ain't mine. I'm sure it ain't mine. West Hab, yeah. It's time to end the corruption, folks. Really quick before I get up out of here. I saw this car today over at the school on Walnut and Yonkers Avenue. And why did I spot, why did it, immediately catch my attention was because it was parked in an area that only someone who either worked there, owned the place, that had steam, juice, would park there. And so I said, oh, somebody there has a GTR, which is a rare, car, Nissan, that guys who like to, race buy or want. This car was actually featured in the Fast and the Furious movies. And so it caught my attention. I said, oh, that's a rare car. And then I thought about it. This is the school that's allegedly owned by the family of the individual that was driving the blue BMW that killed Officer Detective Sergeant Frank Goldino on Tuckahoe Road. And said, look, they're really into the car thing, huh? And so, I'm putting the information out because people want to know what's going on with that. They want updates. There are people that are upset, yet our city officials are silent. They're not saying anything about it. It's a police officer. I'm surprised. I'm sure had it been some, guy from the Southwest side living, 47 Riverdale, they'd be blasted all over the news. Their face would be blasted all over the news and all these news outlets. And everybody would be screaming for justice, wanting to hang that person, right? But when you got money, when you donate to our elected officials, you get protection. So really, how much are the cops loved? You have to question that. Is it all for show? And I'm sure many of you officers know that it's all for show. They want us to believe that they love the cops so much, and we should vote for them because how much they love our first responders so much. Yet, when it's put to the test, that love is put to the test, they fail. They fail. They're failing the family of Detective Sergeant Frank Goldino. They're failing the family of C.J. Hackett. It's an election year, and the mayor does not want that publicity. Unbelievable. According to sources, many sources, reliable sources, very reliable sources, the family of the boy, the 16-year-old unlicensed driver, owns the school. They are very close to Spano, politically close, politically connected. They donate, big contributors. And that's how you do business here in Yonkers, because how else are you going to get that building? The only way you're going to get that building is if you put money in Nick Spano's pocket. That's how it works. I know someone he conned out of $10,000 in 2 months, did nothing for them. Nothing. Through his lobbying company. He takes your money. But there are those cases where he will do that. That's how they got that school. They're connected, and that's why they're able to have officials stay quiet. The mayor did a press conference on store thefts, but does not do a press conference on reckless driving and drunk driving. And somebody must have got word that I was doing this live because they do watch my podcast. So hello to you, whoever's tasked with watching Basement Politics on behalf of City Hall. How you doing? Who was it that called and alerted them because the individual quickly got up out of there? Pretty much almost like speeding off, peeling off up out of there. There's a school there. Right? And so they're trying to lay low. Freddy Vazquez, wants justice for for people here in the city of Yonkers who've been, who have been done wrong. It's only right. This is a school here. This is Walnut, Yonkers Avenue. I was going to get me a bacon, egg, and cheese at Delgado's. Shout out to Delgado's, the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich in the city of Yonkers and quite possibly the state of New York and quite possibly the country. If you are in and around the Yonkers Avenue and Walnut area, please stop by and get yourself a bacon, egg, and cheese. It is worth it. They don't use the regular rolls either. So again, there goes the car. I got it zoomed in up there, and you can't park there unless you work there or you own it, right? Unless you're the man there. And so I saw it pulling off. The security guard moved the cones for him, and then he took off and went up this way quickly. So yeah, so what's up? What's with that? What's going on? Any information there? Can we get an update? It's only right. Can we get an update? City Hall. Mayor Spano, what's going on with the investigation? We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to push. It's time. Things are changing now. The tides are turning. We have to fight just as hard. Folks, check it out really quick before I get up out of here now. Oh, yeah, 31. Vazquez. How do you say that? Vazquez. Environmental. That's that place over there on Alexander Street. On January 27th, they received a certified letter from Westchester County to perform repairs totaling $1.9 million. Wow, almost $2 million. $1,907,000 within 30 days. We are under threat to lose our lease, and we ask the community to voice their concerns and support and to Westchester County. And by the way, did you guys email me? Because I said I would love to talk about it. You want support. This is happening because of developers. The developers want this piece of land. So now they, the administration reached someone up at the county, Ken Jenkins over there at the county, and said, hey, we want that. You do what you got to do. So then they hit them with that BS scam that they run, right? They do this to everybody when they want you out. Oh, you got to make changes. You got to do repairs. You got to restore this building, and you got to do it with this amount of time. I mean, we were fine for the last, 30 years. Now you want me to go do that. They did that with the fire department. They did that with the sharing community. When they want you to be shut down, they will send people to inspect your place. They do surprise inspections. They did it to me. They didn't find anything. Although I believe that they then reached out to the owner at my daycare center there and are putting pressure on her. And in fact, not too long ago, Sam Borelli was at the city council chambers having a meeting in regards to signage and the responsibility of the signage fines that are levied on buildings. And that was in regards to me and my situation, because I have yet to put the official sign up because I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, trying to limit my loss here. So screw you, Sam, because I'm going to screw you real good. I promise you that. Remember Freddy Vazquez. Remember me, because I'm not done. Win, lose, or draw. I'm not done here. It doesn't matter what the outcome of this race is. I've just begun. So this is what they're doing. They're putting pressure on this community center. They recently received a grant for money from Christopher Johnson, county legislator, for $600,000. What happened to that money? And can Chris get you another 1.3 mil? Let's see what Christopher Johnson can do. Maybe Shanae can do that for you. I'm sure she can. She's amazing, isn't she? I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Folks, I appreciate you. It's time to end this corruption. People want it to end now. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts, things that I can't talk about, but I'm excited about. I'm really excited about it. And don't forget, folks, this weekend is the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Is it not, or am I wrong? St. Patty's Day Parade. I'll be out there. I'm hiring security. I got a big security. I'm scared. I'll be out there. Last time I was out there, they were trying to intimidate me. They had a police officer in plain clothes come stand right behind me, right? And then, after Liam McLaughlin saw me, a few others saw me when they got to the front there. But I'll be out there. Let's go out and let's represent. Let's, show some support to our Irish members of the community. Celebrate with them. Great, asset addition to this community have always been. I love the Irish. I love the Italians. I love the Puerto Ricans. I love the Dominicans. I love everyone. But this weekend is the weekend of the Irish. So make sure you attend the St. Patty's Day Parade. I will definitely be out there. having some fun. You won't see me drink, though. I'm not a big fan of alcohol, but I can still have the fun without it. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. I'm up out of here. Save this community, this center here. Y'all gone. Y'all gone. It's over. The developers want you. It's gone. It's a wrap. You're done. Christopher ain't saving you this time. No, he's not. Chris got to worry about saving himself. That's right, folks. They're coming from older. There's only one guy that can assure he is not messed with, and that is
Wins. Freddy wins.
That's right, Chris Johnson. Holla at me, man. Folks, I love you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful rest of the day. I'm up out of here. There was something else I had to say. I forgot, but if I remember, I'll just post it. See you later. Don't forget St. Patty's Day parade and festival this weekend. I'm excited. I hope to see all you there.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want somebody to butter chicken. So thank you.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick.
Come on, give me first straight.
Not, but I am the bad guy.
I know you have a lot of women.
But I am the bad guy.
I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy. I know you have a lot of women, but I'm a councilwoman, so the capacity that I know you in, they may know you in a different capacity. I know you have a lot of women that work in your office.
But I am the bad guy.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
But I am the bad guy. But I am the bad guy. But I am the bad guy.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
Thank you for watching.
Fatality.
No!